Has anyone ever warned you that life after 70 can feel like a curveball? Even the strongest, most independent among us find themselves surprised by quiet changes. Today we're exploring 6 unexpected realities that touch every life after 70. Not the obvious ones, the medical numbers or physical aches, but deeper shifts. The way others see you, the way time feels different, the way memories gently reveal truths you hadn't noticed before. Some of these changes you may already sense but never quite named. Others may surprise you. Yet all of them shape how we experience aging, how we find meaning, strength, and peace in this chapter. Stay with me until the end. Recognizing these changes isn't just about facing hard truths. It's about understanding yourself more fully with compassion. It's about realizing you are not alone, and that there is profound power in embracing every part of your journey. Take a deep breath and let's begin, together. Number 1. Time feels both endless and urgent. One of the most unexpected experiences after 70 is the strange relationship you develop with time itself. On some days, time stretches wide and slow. The hours feel endless, the afternoons linger, and the evenings arrive gently with plenty of space to sit, to think, to simply be. And yet, beneath that slowness, there's an undercurrent, a quiet urgency, a growing awareness that the days ahead are no longer limitless. It's a paradox no one prepares you for. Time feels both abundant and fleeting all at once. You may find yourself reflecting more deeply than ever before. You notice how quickly the seasons turn. You see a year pass in the blink of an eye. You realize how precious even a single morning can feel, sipping coffee near a window, hearing a bird's song, feeling the sunlight warm your hands. And at the same time, there are stretches when the hours feel heavy. Long afternoons when you wonder how best to fill the space. Moments when you ache for deeper conversation, for meaningful touch points, for a sense that the minutes are being well spent. This shifting sense of time brings with it a certain grief for all the years that seemed to slip by unnoticed when you were younger, too busy living to realize how fast life was moving. But it also brings a remarkable gift: clarity. When you feel both the expansiveness and the preciousness of time, you begin to live differently. You no longer waste as many words on things that don't matter. You cherish simple moments, a soft laugh, a heartfelt hug, a quiet evening with a loved one. You savor even the ordinary days because you know they are anything but ordinary. You forgive more easily, not because it's easy, but because carrying anger feels like a heavy burden you simply don't want to bear anymore. You speak love more freely, realizing that silence can sometimes leave things unsaid forever. You learn that meaning doesn't come from grand achievements anymore. It comes from presence, from showing up for the people you love, from showing up for yourself, in kindness, in gratitude, in gentleness. And if there is a final quiet wisdom that aging offers, it is this: every day still matters. Every conversation, every shared memory, every simple breath taken with awareness. You are not running out of life. You are filling life more richly than ever, even if the world moves on without noticing. In the end, it's not about how much time you have. It's about how deeply you live in the time that remains. And in that way, this chapter, however long it stretches, can be one of the most powerful, peaceful, and profound seasons of all. Number 2. The quiet narrowing of daily life. One of the tender truths that quietly unfolds after 70 is not only about what happens inside your body, but also what happens to the world around you. Your daily life, once broad and bustling, begins to gently, almost imperceptibly, contract. At first, it's easy to brush off. You notice that you go out a little less often, not because you lack the desire, but because places feel farther away, tasks feel heavier, outings take a little more planning and energy than before. You realize that familiar faces, the neighbor who used to wave from across the fence, the old friend who once dropped by unannounced, have moved away, slowed down, or simply disappeared into their own busy currents. Restaurants you loved closed down. Parks you once strolled with ease now feel just a little too far. Even the air of neighborhoods you know by heart feels somehow different, like the world has shifted half a step beyond your reach. The change is rarely sudden. It arrives quietly, piece by piece. A phone call not returned. An event missed, not out of malice, but because life simply pulled everyone along in different directions. At first, you may not even notice. The stillness feels almost like peace. But over time, it can settle into a different kind of silence. A background loneliness that hums quietly, even during the brightest parts of the day. It's important to name this feeling because it's not weakness. It's not failure. It's grief. Grief not just for the people or places you miss, but for the version of life that felt bigger, wider, filled with more footsteps and laughter and casual hellos. Recognizing this grief allows you to honor it, and then gently to find new ways of living within a smaller, quieter world. Because even though the outer world may narrow, your inner world can still expand. You may not travel across countries anymore, but you can travel across minds and hearts. You can meet new friends in a local club, a community center, or even online in spaces built for connection. You can deepen your relationship with yourself, exploring old hobbies, revisiting books you loved, creating things with your hands that bring joy into being. The narrowing of daily life invites you to move differently, not less. To savor rather than to rush. To cherish small rituals, a cup of coffee at dawn, a handwritten letter to an old friend, a slow walk beneath the trees. The familiar world outside may grow smaller. But the world inside, your world of memory, imagination, kindness, and connection, remains vast and vibrant. It just asks for different tending now. It asks for presence instead of hurry, depth instead of width, meaning instead of motion. So reach out even if it feels vulnerable. Accept help even if it feels humbling. Say yes to small joys, a video call with a grandchild, a neighbor's invitation to tea, a book group you've never considered before. Your world is not shrinking because you are fading. Your world is simply inviting you to live differently, more deliberately, more tenderly, more richly. And within this smaller circle, there is still extraordinary beauty waiting to be found. If this reflection spoke to your heart, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're still with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so and turn on the bell, so we can continue growing together, even as the world shifts around us. Thank you for being part of this space. Number 3. The unpredictability of your body. One of the more startling truths that unfolds after 80 is this. Your body becomes less predictable, often when you least expect it. There are days when you wake up feeling steady, strong, clear-minded, as if nothing has changed. You move through the morning with energy, hope, maybe even a touch of excitement about the day ahead. And then there are days when the smallest movement feels like a mountain. Your knees wobble. Your hands tremble. Your mind feels foggy, grasping for the names of familiar faces, or the right word that once would have come effortlessly. You can't always see it coming. There's no neat warning. No calendar reminder that says, today will be harder. You might plan an outing only to be stopped by an unexpected wave of dizziness. You might be walking across your living room when a sharp pain flares out of nowhere. Or you might find yourself needing to rest far more than you ever had to before, even after doing things that once hardly cost you any effort at all. And it's not just the physical challenges that sting, it's the emotional ones too. Because when your own body, this trusted companion you've lived inside for decades, begins to change the rules without notice, it can feel like a betrayal. It can shake your confidence not just in movement but in your place in the world. You may catch yourself hesitating before you leave the house, before you say yes to a gathering, before you even reach for a book on the higher shelf. Not because you doubt your spirit, but because you are forced to calculate, to wonder, will my body carry me the way I need it to today? This uncertainty can make you feel smaller. It can make you question your independence, your freedom, your very sense of self. But let me offer a different lens. Adaptability is now your greatest strength. Flexibility is no longer just a physical skill, it becomes an emotional and spiritual wisdom. You learn to listen more deeply. You learn to prepare more thoughtfully. You learn that grace, not stubbornness, is what keeps you moving forward. Instead of pushing through every discomfort, you begin to respond with kindness. You stretch when needed. You pause without guilt. You hydrate, nourish, and protect your body as an act of fierce love, not fear. You learn the small rituals that steady you. A hand resting on a counter when you stand. A deep breath before a long hallway. A plan B for the days when energy runs low. And over time, something beautiful happens. You realize that your worth was never tied to your body's performance. It was always in your resilience, in your ability to adjust, in your ability to keep showing up for your life, even if you must move through it more slowly now. You are not failing because your body has changed. You are triumphing because you are still here, adapting, loving, living, even when the ground feels unsteady beneath your feet. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. Every adjustment you make is an act of wisdom. You are still you, steady, courageous, and infinitely worthy, even on the days your body feels unfamiliar. Number 4. When small health problems become big ones. Another unexpected truth that quietly settles into life after 70 is just how fragile recovery becomes. What once were small inconveniences, a scratchy throat, a minor bruise, a stumble on the sidewalk, now demand your full attention, your patience, and sometimes your worry. A simple cold lingers longer than it ever used to, turning a few sneezes into weeks of exhaustion. A bruise, once nothing more than a passing mark, now blooms stubbornly and refuses to fade. A minor fall, something you would have laughed off in your 50s or 60s, now carries heavier consequences. Days, sometimes weeks, of healing, therapy, and vigilance. It's not just about the body slowing down. It's about how your body's ability to bounce back becomes less certain, less dependable. The margin for error grows thinner, the risks become sharper, and the need for self-awareness becomes vital. Even small missteps, a skipped meal, a forgotten glass of water, can unravel your energy, your balance, your clarity in ways that never happened before. This change often isn't discussed openly. Doctors might casually mention it. Family members might chalk it up to just aging. But you know the truth. You feel it in the slow recovery after a simple errand. You notice it when your body asks for rest at times you used to push through without a second thought. And if you've spent a lifetime being tough, resilient, the one others leaned on, this new vulnerability can feel startling, even cruel. It can feel, if you're honest, like your own body has broken a sacred promise. But here's the deeper truth. Awareness brings empowerment. When you notice how delicately your body responds now, you gain the chance to work with it instead of against it. You start to move through the world with more intentionality, more reverence for this vessel that has carried you through so many seasons of life. Instead of pushing through fatigue, you learn to honor it. Instead of ignoring thirst or discomfort, you pause, you nourish, you care. You begin to see healing not as something passive, but as something active, a sacred task worth every ounce of your attention. And this isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's a new kind of strength. The strength to listen to your body, the courage to adapt to its changing needs without shame, without resentment. Because survival at this stage of life isn't about proving how tough you are. It's about preserving the strength that remains. It's about walking wisely with the body you now have, not the one you once had. It's about finding power, not in resisting change, but in embracing care as your greatest act of self-respect. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to stop fighting your body's messages, and start honoring them with tenderness. You are not less because you need more rest. You are not weaker because you move more slowly. You are wiser. You are more finely attuned to the miracle of your own existence. Every step you take with gentleness now is a testament to the life that still pulses within you, steady, resilient, and still beautiful. If this part of the journey resonated with you, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're still here, walking alongside us. And if you haven't yet, I warmly invite you to subscribe and turn on the little bell, so you won't miss future videos crafted to inspire, inform, and gently uplift. Your support means more than you know. Thank you for being part of this community. Number 5. The shrinking world of connection. One of the most tender realities that gently unfolds after 70 is the quiet shrinking of your social world. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not loud or dramatic. It's more like a soft erosion, the slow pulling back of tides you once trusted would always be there. Phone calls still come, but less often. Visits still happen, but they feel rarer, more delicate. Invitations that once filled your calendar now feel like echoes from a life that's moving farther away. And while the outside world may hardly notice, you do. There is a subtle but powerful shift, not just in how often people reach out, but in the energy they bring when they do. What was once vibrant, effortless companionship can sometimes feel thinner now, more hurried, more distant, as if the world has quietly sped up and left you standing at a slower, more reflective pace. Friends move away. Some grow ill. Others simply disappear into the mist of time. Family members, children, grandchildren, get swept up in the whirlwind of their own busy lives. Their love for you remains, but the steady presence that once anchored you together becomes more fragile, more fleeting. And without warning, the days stretch longer. Hours that once flew by in laughter and conversation now grow still, filled with more listening to your own thoughts than to another's voice. It's not bitterness that surfaces. It's simply an honest recognition. Connection requires more intention now than it ever has before. No one tells you how much you'll begin to treasure small things. A familiar voice on the other end of the line. A handwritten card in the mail. An unexpected knock at the door. Moments that once seemed ordinary now shimmer with sacredness. You may catch yourself reminiscing more, reliving afternoons spent in parks, coffee shops, family kitchens. Not because you are stuck in the past, but because memory becomes a way of keeping love alive. The faces you miss, the conversations that shaped you, the laughter that still echoes somewhere inside you, all of it becomes a quiet, cherished kind of company. If you find yourself feeling this shift, please know, you are not doing anything wrong. It is not a failing nor a weakness. It is part of the profound and poignant truth of having lived a full life. The landscape of connection changes, but the need for it never leaves. In fact, it becomes even more essential. Because when the crowd thins, the few real soul-deep connections you still have, or that you choose to nurture, become more valuable than gold. And in these later chapters, sometimes the greatest acts of courage are the smallest ones. Picking up the phone even when you doubt someone will answer. Accepting an invitation even when it feels easier to stay home. Telling someone you miss them. Or allowing yourself to miss them without bitterness, just gratitude for what you shared. You are still connected, to the people who love you, to the memories that shaped you, to the life that still moves through you. And that connection, even if quieter now, is still profoundly real. It is still yours. It still matters. Number 6. The quiet loss of visibility. One of the most surprising, and often most painful, changes after 70 is the way you begin to feel less seen in the world. It's not usually deliberate. No one points a finger and decides to ignore you. It's more subtle, more gradual, a quiet slipping away of acknowledgement, a soft erosion of presence that creeps in without warning. You walk into a room and feel it immediately. The conversation continues without pause. The younger faces turn to each other. The energy doesn't shift toward you the way it once did. You speak and sometimes you're spoken over. You offer an opinion and it floats, unanswered, like a feather in a fast-moving current. It isn't cruelty. It's the natural pace of a world that seems to sprint faster and faster, one that worships novelty and youth and forgets, too easily, what seasoned wisdom truly means. And if you're honest, it's not just frustrating. It's quietly heartbreaking. Because inside you are decades of stories, of laughter, of lessons learned the hard way. Inside you is a life rich with triumphs and regrets, kindnesses and mistakes, all woven into a tapestry more vivid than any passing trend could ever hope to be. And yet, there are moments when the world seems to look past you instead of toward you. Moments when your presence, your experiences, your humor, your insight seem invisible in a room that once felt like it belonged to you too. It can spark sadness. It can stir anger. It can awaken a silent kind of grief for the days when your words turned heads, your laughter filled rooms, your presence mattered without question. But here's a truth that must not be forgotten. You are not invisible. The world may sometimes forget to look. But that does not mean you have disappeared. Your stories are not lesser because fewer people pause to listen. Your wisdom does not fade because it isn't trending. Your humor, your spirit, your endurance, they remain potent, fierce, and necessary. And those who take the time to slow down, to really listen, to sit close, to hear the strength beneath your quieter voice, will find something extraordinary. A living, breathing testament to all that is brave and enduring in the human spirit. You may not always be the loudest one in the room anymore, but you are very often the one with the deepest roots. Your presence carries a weight, a dignity, a grace that only the years can teach. So if you feel overlooked, do not shrink. Do not disappear into their forgetfulness. Speak anyway. Laugh anyway. Share your stories anyway. Not because the world demands it, but because your life is worthy of being witnessed, fully, richly, and with honor. You are not just a participant in the room. You are the living memory of what it means to persevere, to love, to endure, and to hope. And sometimes those who seem to pass you by, they need you more than they realize. They need your calmness, your perspective, your humor that cuts through the noise of shallow things. You are still needed here. You are still seen, maybe not by all, but surely by the ones who matter most. Final thoughts. Today we've walked through 6 quiet but powerful truths that often surface after the age of 70, truths that can catch even the strongest hearts off guard. We spoke about the shrinking world of social connection, the unexpected weight of small health problems, the quiet loss of visibility in social spaces, the gentle narrowing of daily life, the unpredictability of the body, and the bittersweet urgency of time itself. Each of these realities can feel heavy at times. They carry sadness, yes, but also extraordinary wisdom. Because facing these truths doesn't mean giving in to despair. It means stepping into life with open eyes, with open hands, and with an open heart. It means recognizing that even as some doors close, new kinds of beauty, quieter, deeper, more lasting, still invite you forward. It means allowing yourself to grieve what is lost while still cherishing what remains. It means living with tenderness, with grace, and with a fierce appreciation for every single day you are given. You are not invisible. You are not done growing. You are not alone. You are entering a sacred chapter, one that demands courage, patience, and above all, kindness toward yourself. And remember this: your story, your presence, your spirit, they matter more than ever. If today's video spoke to your heart, please share with us below. Which of these 6 realities resonated with you the most? What is one way you plan to move forward, with more compassion, more wisdom, or more joy? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If you haven't already, I warmly invite you to subscribe and turn on the bell, so we can continue walking this meaningful journey together. Your presence here is a gift. Thank you for being part of this space. And until we meet again, be gentle with yourself. You are living a life of great courage.